Hello there. So this is just a quick I can't even see anymore without my glasses. I'm even just looking here. But I just wanted to kind of discuss my cycling journey back in the middle 1980s when I moved to San Diego. I had to cycle because that's the only way I could get to work and back. I couldn't afford a car. And I started cycling, but I started doing it on my days off too and having a great time doing it. So that was I mean, other than bicycling as a kid, when most people my age, we cycled when we were children. So that was just a lot of fun to do, but I didn't cycle again from like probably sadly from, the late 1980s until somewhere in the mid 1990s. Then I started cycling again in the Virginia area where I lived when I was in graduate school. And then I had fun there. I was going on a lot of these rail type trails, which was good. And I had my own like hybrid bike that I created, and then that stopped again. So I didn't cycle again until I moved to Pennsylvania. And I found somebody actually left this really, really cool bike. It was an expensive bike, but a kind of a racing cycle, and it was awesome. And I used that for a while. It was a little harder to cycle because of the type of gears it had, but it was awesome. I did that for a while, and then I stopped again. Um, when we came back from Rhode Island back to Pennsylvania, yeah, I wasn't bicycling at all. Although I did buy the current bike that I have, which is this Schwinn Racer, and I use this Schwinn Racer. It's a one-speed bike for a gel trainer, so I'd stick it on my gel trainer and ride, which was fun. I think that kind of had though an effect on my pelvic floor, because you can't really, you're sitting on this thing and not doing a lot of standing movements and stuff like that. And I'd sit on it for a couple hours at a time and just ride and ride and pretend I'm racing by watching videos on YouTube, on TV. And then but then I stopped there for a while because I was worried about this pelvic floor issue that I had. And then I just started cycling again this year. I mean, in the last couple of years, I had a couple of fractures in my wrist from doing other activities like rollerblading. So now I said, okay, let's get back to cycling. And I actually had no problem with the pelvic floor at all since I started, but I'm using that one speed Schwinn Racer. And this is where the fun is. So today was one of my rides. I did like about 12 miles, I think. 12.12 miles. I use a Strava. Let's make sure I got the right name of this app here. What's it called? Yes, Strava app. It's awesome. It provides me with a way to analyze my rides, and it gives me feedback. And see, this is the important thing about all sports: is you have to have feedback. The only way you get better is by having feedback, and you have to be receptive to the feedback. So I also ski a lot. When I'm skiing, I'm receptive to feedback, and people, not everybody gives really good feedback. Some people can give you very harsh feedback, or they can sandwich it, nice, and then give you the bad stuff and then be nice again. And that's really the good way to do feedback. But in cycling, you're not going to have a lot of people always watching you and say, hey, let's check out your technique and stuff like that. So having an app, and the same in skiing, having an app that allows you to evaluate your progress is very, very helpful. So I have this app, and it gives me like all these different parameters that I like for instance, what's my time, my speed, how do I do in certain segments. And it's really cool. There's different segments. Like, I'm going to check out one of these segments here with you. I think this is really awesome. Like, there's these little segments that people write, and they've given them names. Like, let's see, and then you can compare yourself to others. Like, for instance, let's see, like there's the sprint to the chopper, the chopper. It's called sprint to the like DE chopper, because this is like an area that's near Doylestown Hospital, and there's a Temple University helicopter there for severe injuries, so they can transport people from one hospital to the next or to this hospital. So there's a sprint that goes up to this chopper. So I like that sprint to chopper. And today I did better. Like for instance, I did 45 seconds on this. Now, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. I hit 18.2 miles per hour. Hey, listen, I'm riding this one speed bike, and I'm not going to compete with people who are going like 30 miles an hour, 35 miles per hour. Like I look at the all-time leader there. This person, he was 35.6 miles per hour. Yes, and and I'm at the 56th percentile. That means I'm slower than 56% of other people, but I'm still better than 44% of all others, right? So that's pretty good. I'm at 45 seconds. This guy did it in 23 seconds. But see, that gives me some interesting feedback, and I can use this to gauge my performance. And when I get back, and I like I did it today, and I did better than my last one. And then there's this other one that I did that I really like. It's called, let's see, wait, let's get to this. It's fun. It's called CB West Creeper Sprint. I really like that one. That's one of my favorite ones. CB West Creeper Sprint. So it's right next to the War Memorial Park, or their football stadium. And I did a good job with it today. So today, let's see how I did today. So all time, it had 44 people did this one, I think, all time. And I'm at the 11th percentile there. I hit 20.2 miles per hour, which is good again. The top person was 34 miles per hour, did it in 22 seconds. I did it in 37 seconds today. So I was pretty happy with that. So I'm at number 44 in this list out of 374 people in total. So, that's pretty cool. But it's fun because I get to see where I am, and I can gauge how well I'm performing. Sometimes you think you're doing something really well, but then you don't realize it until you actually get the feedback and say, oh man, I didn't do that great. And judging by my age in comparison, so I'm in that 54 to 65-year old age range, so I can compare myself to other people in my age range, which is surprisingly, a lot of these guys in my age range are the better cyclists. That's because, like, when we get older, we start saying, heck, we need to keep in shape. Otherwise, we're going to die really soon. So we're trying to stay as healthy as possible. But anyway, riding my bike has been a lot of fun. It's amazing. And especially with this one speed, I'm actually going to start working on a new bike. A colleague at Blue Mountain, or where I work as a ski instructor and also work in their adventure park, is going to give me this cool frame for free. And I'm going to take that frame and I'm going to start building my own bike, because I'd really like to build some kind of a monster cool bike that can go really fast, like the one I had when I was in Virginia. I mean, I just like modified a mountain bike, and I just like put all kinds of cool things like road slicks on it. I had drop handlebars that I could I could use, and I was like really going faster than a lot of people with a road cycle. So I'm gonna do something like that with it again. But working with this one speed bike and doing hill climbs, I'm really working my legs hard, and I'm getting in good shape. I tell you, like some of the hills that I climb, I'm like standing still basically and just pushing really hard. So I'm getting a good quad workout, right? So I'm doing a great job with that, and I can't wait to see how that translates to a better bike. So anyway, so I'm going to go through this adventure with you step by step. Just one more thing while I'm at it. I rate my rides by how many bunnies I see. Yeah, I see a lot of bunnies. Like one day I saw 12 bunnies. That was awesome. Today I only saw one. So it was only a one bunny ride. So I've had 12 bunny rides, 2 bunny rides. Anyway, that's a good way. That's fun. It's something to do. It's really good to have something to take to distract you, especially when you're dealing with more anaerobic activity, like for instance hill climbing. And having something to focus on is to dissociate. So we call it dissociative focus. How do I know all this stuff? So when I was in graduate school, my focus was on sports psychology, and I never stopped focusing on that. So that's still part of me, and try to be a good adult athlete, a good learner, you have to be able to deal with the pain that you experience when performance gets tough. And that's what you got to do. That's the only way to get better. You got to be able to overcome those challenges. But anyway, thank you for listening. If anybody is listening, I appreciate it. Have a great day.